Hey everybody, what you're looking at is 6 really big Lionel O-scale steam engines. Now, what do these have in common? Well, we're going to run all of these together today at the same time. That's right, we're going to program all of these into a single train in my legacy system and run them all as a single train at the same time. It should be pretty cool. I've never run this many steam engines together at one time. It's going to be really big and really powerful, and not to mention really expensive, because what you're looking at here is probably around $8,000 to $10,000 worth of O-scale steam locomotives. So what I've got here on the back, I've got UP Big Boy 4014, of course. Then I've got the N&W Y6b. Then I've got 2 Challengers, a Stripe and a Greyhound. Then I've got the Southern Pacific AC9, and then we've got the Virginian Allegheny. So yeah, a lot of steam power. This should be pretty cool, and it's coming up right now on Eric's Trains. All right, I've got all 6 locomotives on the track, and I've got them all programmed into a train in my legacy system. So on the lead, we've got 4014, of course. Behind that, we've got the striped Challenger. Behind that, we've got the Allegheny. Behind that, we've got the SP AC9. Behind that, we've got the Greyhound Challenger. And then bringing up the rear, we've got the N&W Y6b. Now, in order to make this happen, I had to make some concessions, because when you run 6 locomotives like this back to back, it draws a lot of power through the system, and you risk blowing the circuit breaker on the power supply. So in order to make this work, I had to disable most of the smoke units on these locomotives because it was just drawing too much power. So the only functioning smoke units on this train are going to be the smokestack and the whistle steam on the Big Boy, and then the smokestack all the way back on the Y6b. And by the same token, that's why I'm not pulling any cars behind this setup, because pulling cars increases the load, which increases the amperage, which would blow the circuit breaker. Ask me how I know. So we've got it all set up. I'm going to put the camera up here at the front, and we'll start this thing up and take it for a spin. This should be fun. Chessie, what do you think? You ready to run this thing? What do you say? I think that's a yes.
Union Pacific 4014. Do you read me? Over. Roger that. Union Pacific 4014. I read you. Over. Star up and hold for track orders. Over. Okay. Get to work. Out.
right, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I sure did. This was a ton of motive power. And you know what? It was a little bit tedious and troublesome at times. I imagine it'd be the same way in the real world if you tried to run 6 really large steam locomotives back to back. I had things derailing sometimes and the circuit breaker kept blowing. I eventually had to kill the smoke unit on the Y6b to keep the circuit breaker from blowing, but it all worked out and it was a lot of fun and it looked great. So that's about it for now. If you'd like to support this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. That can be done on Patreon at patreon.com/ericstrains. Patreon supporters get all sorts of benefits and perks, and you can read about those benefits on my Patreon page. I'd like to put a big thank you out there to all of my current Patreon supporters. Your support means the world, not only to me, but to the future of this channel. And finally, if you'd like to buy an Eric's Trains t-shirt or anything else I might be selling, check out the Eric's Trains online store at ericstrains.com/store. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm Eric Siegel, and I'll see you next time. Jesse's ready to start this thing up.